Hi, this is Regeline Sabbat, also known as Gigi, and you're listening to Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Dr. Saad. Dr. Saad is a licensed clinical psychologist and founder and CEO of Madison Park Psychological Services. Welcome to the show, Dr. Saad.
Thank you so much, Gigi, for having me.
Such an honor to have you here today. Now, why don't you start off by telling us more about you and where are you from?
Sure. So I am Lebanese originally, grew up in Paris, where I am right now. And I live in New York, actually. And so I established my practice in New York after becoming a psychologist, first in Paris, then redoing my PhD in the States. And now I've been in the States for more than 20 years.
I love it. Now, what inspired you to become a licensed clinical psychologist?
Ooh, that's a good long story, but I'll make it short. I basically finding my calling. I was in Paris. You have to decide your profession very early before you go to university. So at age 16, basically, I was set to go to business school. I was very good in math. And as a family of immigrants, financial safety was very important. And I was all set to go to business school. And I realized that managing people's money was going to be the death of me. And I tuned into what do I like and what do I want. And as you notice, I have a melodious tone of voice at school. People will come to me for healing. And I love that. And I thought, I'm going to become a psychologist. And so that's how the path came, by asking myself the question, what do I want? And if your audience want to hear it more, it's in the book with Les Brown, Ignite the Hunger in You. It shows my trajectory from war, bomb, earthquake in Lebanon to becoming top 3 psychologist in New York.
I love it. And now tell us a little bit more about your book, Ignite the Hunger in You.
Oh, it's an amazing book aimed at really igniting the potential within you. And Les Brown believed that it all comes by being hungry, that you want to be hungry. And what are you hungry for? And so 35 authors got together with Les Brown, and each one wrote their own empowering story. So my story is about giving great voice to who you are in light of those around you rather than in spite of those around you, because most people build themselves in spite of what's been told to them. And I believe you should do it in light, but still giving great voice to who you are.
Very powerful. Now, talk to us a little bit more about your company. And I love the question that you said that you asked yourself as well prior to becoming a licensed clinical psychologist. But walk us through that journey a little bit more, and also to tell us a little bit more about your company.
Yes. So, my company was born out of miscarriage. And I believe it's based on the foundation that you have to transform your muddy water into a blossoming lotus flower. And when you do so, and when you're so in line with nature flow, you create a community where you shine and everybody around you shine. And that was the basis of my company. So let me get you back. So as you know, I'm a psychologist now in New York, and it is time for me to have my own family. But at the time, I was really working really, really hard, very hard. And I'm building my private practice and very successful. And so, but I got pregnant and I got a miscarriage that ended up leaving me with a lot of physical symptoms afterwards that I couldn't heal with either psychology, Western medicine. And so it led me to find traditional Chinese medicine and dive in the depth of healing and energy healing. And embracing Eastern modality. And it became a way of life. And since I was already teaching psychology, I started teaching the psychologists about body, mind, spirit. And so I built this new movement of psychologists who are now embracing body, mind, spirit healing. And with spirit, I mean the essence of who you are, and understanding how everything is there for you, and how can you transform your muddy water into a blossoming flower. And I did that and created that. And I always say the power of one, how one painful event really changed the life of many, because my psychologists who I'm trained build their own group practices. And my psychologists in my group practice and in their group practices have healed many, many, many patients, embracing a tailored treatment to who you are. Because I believe treatment should be tailored to you. And we have to figure out what is the best modality. So people get psychotherapy, but they get psychotherapy tailored to them, to their personality, to what they're going through. They get matched to a psychologist whose also personality, style, and expertise is tailored to them. And then we can add additional services depending on who the person is, like Eastern medicine, like acupuncture, like Qigong, yoga, meditation. Some people are into Western medicine, so we do medication management if that's the path they want. But the idea is a tailored path based on who you are.
Very powerful. And recently, I just hosted the global virtual panel of miscarriage survivors event. And we had Leslie Schlesler, who shared her story. She's a 5 times miscarriage survivor, and she talks about journaling. Did journaling help you as well, Dr. Saad?
So, for me, the miscarriage, what happened is I end up having a lot of physical symptom afterwards, meaning it opened me to the world in a way. Like I start having, whenever I would eat something, pain in certain part of my body. When I would sit with a patient, I would feel certain things in my body. I started feeling everything in my body in a way that was not feasible and functionable. So I started journaling what I was feeling and when, to make connection. I wanted to decode what was happening in my body because I couldn't understand. I couldn't make sense of it. So I started writing down, when I eat this, where do I feel the pain? Where do I feel the tingling? What is happening? When I sit with this person, what am I feeling? And how can it be related to me or them? And I started really realizing there's a map of connections here. And then I found traditional Chinese medicine and realized that, in traditional Chinese medicine, there are energy pathways that run through your body, and certain food affect those pathways, certain energetic frequency affect those pathways. And I started realizing that everything I was feeling in my body made so much sense. And so I started decoding and learning about how and what affects you. And so now I have a huge knowledge of a body, mind, spirit connection based on who you are and the connections around you.
I love it. Now, Dr. Saad, what gives you the most joy in your life?
Oh, that's so good. For me, it's helping people. I feel so good when people, I love when people are vibrant and positive. I want everybody around me to shine bright. And so when I see somebody shining bright, either with my impact or not without my impact, I am so happy. So I love surrounding myself with people who shine bright. I love transforming people so that they shine bright. It's just radius. It's infectious when you have somebody who's shining next to you. That's my favorite thing, and that brings me so much joy.
I love it. Now, Dr. Saad, what is your best advice to the audience for walking with purpose and living a life of happiness?
Oh, that is so good. So, well, your purpose is within you. So, the idea is, if you can make sense of what is happening within you and what is happening outside of you in a way that it refines you, in a way that it builds you up, you will understand very much your purpose. So, let me explain a little snippet of this. So I was born with wars, and I always wonder, why did I have to go through this? Well, when 9/11 happened, I was very well equipped to deal with people, and it reminded me and it made sense to me in that moment that it made sense what I went through. If I wanted to help people, if my journey is helping people, at a young age, going through the worst thing in your life prepares you for the best thing in your life and prepares you to help people navigate the worst thing in their life. So it makes total sense from a training perspective. So having decoded that and making sense of that brought me so much happiness, joy, and peace to understand, why did I go through this? So you can see how after that, it empowered me more to live purposefully. So that's just an example to show people, when you make sense of your life in a way that enriches you, you discover your purpose further. You're able to walk in your purpose further. And when you do that, happiness just follows.
I love it. Now, Dr. Saad, thank you for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast. Now, where can the audience find you?
So they can find me anywhere on the internet by Googling my name. But my website is Madison Park Psychological Services. So MadisonParkPsych.com. And they can find me on iTunes, not iTunes, sorry, on Instagram at Dr. Yasmine Saad. Those are the two best places.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Dr. Saad on all of her social media platforms and also her website. And Dr. Saad, thank you again for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast. You have a blessed day.
Thank you so much, Gigi, for having me.